My name is Svila Bekin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when a new video drops. And I was awoken this morning. No, I wasn't awoken this morning. I read about it last night. That Pierce Brosnan, who is actually my favorite James Bond for, I think, some pretty good reasons. Pierce Brosnan came up with a dishearteningly depressing statement. Now, firstly, I want to tell you why I like Pierce Brosnan as my favourite Bond, because I think he's the actor that really understood the character, at least my understanding of the character the most. He has that wonderful balance of being incredibly suave and debonair, and also being a sociopathic murderer. You know, he balanced it really, really well. I think Daniel Craig is a little bit too sociopathic, too wooden. And also, I think he's got more wooden the less he wants to play James Bond. But you know, when you back up a giant truck of money into somebody's living room, they're gonna do pretty much what you ask them to do. But anyway, Pierce Brosnan. So he came out and he says it's time for a lady Bond. It's a time for the men should get out of the way, and there should be a female James Bond. And at first, I was apoplectic. My head exploded. I jumped up and down. Well, I didn't jump up and down, but I would have done if I wasn't morbidly obese. And then I remember something. I remember something really, really important, and it's something that we all should try and remember. He's a stupid actor, and it doesn't matter what he's got to say about anything. In general, being able to convincingly portray other people, other than yourselves, doesn't really mean I have to listen to you. And here I'm not listening to you. But it is really disheartening because, like, I saw how much he understood the character. And this other statement shows he completely doesn't understand the character. So perhaps he's just been kidnapped by the woke hordes and he's looking to score some points. Who knows? Who knows? But James Bond cannot be a woman. And here's why I feel James Bond cannot be a woman. It's the basic rules of if you ever want to gender or race swap anybody. That if you, I think it's genuinely fine as long as the character remains the essence of the character. So when they gender swap Starbuck, which I thought worked fantastically, it worked because again they got to the core of what Starbuck was in the '70s show, and then they used that as a basis to develop this new character, which again I think was a real reflection of who that character was. Same with Lawrence Fishburne playing Perry White. Black Perry White. Hey, it's. I thought he was perfect. He had the gravitas of that old time news person, and the strength of his and I really thought that worked. This fails because Bond. How do you describe? But Bond is a person who comes from a genuine white privilege. Now, I'm not a big believer in white privilege, but James Bond is an extremely privileged person. He comes from an extremely privileged class. He's from the upper classes of England, and has obviously never faced any prejudice. But he's so damaged and so twisted and so broken. He's turned himself into this sociopathic killer for the good of England. And the core of James Bond, I think what Fleming was going for with the character was something just so inherently masculine, just oozing masculine appeal, masculine sex appeal, which part of being a sociopathic killer actually is a part of. It's out of control, but it shows this like very masculine strength, which make women go weak at the knees for in James Bond movies or in real life. If you're sitting in the cinema, just about every woman I went to goes ooh when they see James Bond. It's like it's that core caveman masculinity. And I don't see how that can be translated into a female playing James Bond. Now, people calling for it don't understand. They don't understand who James Bond, and they don't really care. They just know he's a cultural icon. And they don't understand that the character simply doesn't work being gender swapped. And because of their ignorance, we've now got to lose which would, thank God, I don't think it's going to happen. But because of their ignorance, they would dictate that we lose just another thing that we love. Lose because people are not going to go and see a female James Bond. Now, I think there is room for a kick-ass spy thriller, female-led spy thriller. I'd love to see Gal Gadot, for example, do that. That would be fantastic. But maybe, if you introduce the character in a James Bond movie, a female character, and spun her off, that also would be great. But it just can't reflect the characteristics of who James Bond is to make him woman. How can a woman be a misogynistic lover who uses women? He uses women and vodka martinis to assuage his deep and abiding guilt and just brokenness. I just don't see how it can work with her being female. That's the thing, with her being feminine. Also, once you have a guy who's a psychopathic killer, that if you pare it down, that can be sexually very attractive. When you have a woman who's a sociopathic killer, not psychopath, sociopathic killer, then that's just not so attractive. That's just kind of, now you're into what's that Glenn Close movie, Fatal Attraction. That's just kind of scary. Doesn't really work at all. And the sad truth is, whenever they do these type of things, whenever they do like female-led franchises, they always fail. They always fail. And I don't know. I still think there's room it could succeed, but you need somebody talented to do it. And simply, and the tragedy is they use these gender and race swaps as a substitute for talent. So Pierce, I'm sorry. I feel like you've been kidnapped by the woke cult of Hollywood. I hope this is a statement just that you're doing to get into bed with somebody. Well, I can't imagine. You're a very attractive man, Pierce. When I look at you, it's like looking to a mirror. My name is Sela Betkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.